Commandment 3, fix your goal which should be complete oneness with God. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. It is very essential for everyone to fix his thought at the very outset upon the goal which he has to attain, so that his thought and will may pave his way up to it. It has been observed that those on the path of spirituality uh, who did not fix that final state for their goal have definitely remained short of the mark, because before arriving at the final point, they mistook one or the other of the intermediate states to be the final point or the reality, and stopped there. Thus, they suffered merely for not having fixed their goal. Um, Even in worldly matters, so long as a person does not keep his object in view of his efforts, are never so intensified as to ensure success. It's an admitted fact that a boat cannot fly direct to the destination unless the helm is applied to it. Treating this human form as a boat and the space it is flying in as the ocean of spirituality, it is but essential to put up the helm in order to be able to ply through the storming ocean successfully. In the spiritual field, the helm is our strong willpower, which helps us to steer on to the destination. There may certainly be countless worlds at places, but the strength of our will and confidence helps us overcome all of them and proceed on straight to the destination. Now, since our eye is fixed upon spirituality, we take up the ideal, which is the highest, and which can be nothing but associated directly with the absolute. Thus, to reach the infinite absolute is one of the primary duties of man. But so long as the goal is not fixed in one's thought, it is very difficult to complete the journey successfully. Divine help comes, Divine help does come, no doubt, but only when the Supreme is convinced of devotee's earnestness of purpose, which is the thought of the Brit. When the reaction creates a stir in the infinite, it indicates that he has concentrated his thought in the great being. This brings to our view the example of the lover and the beloved. It means that the distance between the devotee and the Lord is reduced, and the idea of remoteness begins to fade away. Our nearness goes on increasing up to the final limit, where the very feeling of aloofness, having merged in the reality, becomes completely extinct and assumes the form of the latent motion that exists at the time of pralaya, in bracket individual. In this way, our merging in the state becomes permanent and lasting. Our swimming in the infinite ocean now starts, which brings us to the real life, which comprises the influences of the ocean we are now swimming in. Now the silent motion which we have created in it start merging into it. In it we start expanding. In this way our laya avastha in it becomes durable and lasting. It is thus clear that the firmness of will and determination to reach the holy entity helped us to arrive at the destination, with the result that we got firmly established in the final state. How this most difficult problem was so easily solved by virtue of correctness of our goal and the firmness of determination, which may not now be difficult to understand. Our intention to reach the goal promoted our efforts, and since the ideal was the noblest, the interest for it went on increasing till it developed into a strong craving. Then we began to feel impatient for it. When we get into this habit, the tendencies of the mind are diverted towards it with full vigor. Thus, we come to the conclusion that for the attainment of the objective, we have to create in us intense longing or extreme impatience, which forces our passage on to it, just as the latent motion did at the time of creation. So we'll move on to the next.
Okay, can I share now?
We can move on to Dr. KCV's
Okay.
talk on this.
Yeah.
Commandment 3. Fix up your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. As already pointed out, it is necessary to know one's goal, and that is God. But oneness with the goal is not merely knowledge or even a vision of God, but oneness with Him. Sri Krishna says that one should know, see, and enter into Him. Master similarly speaks of 3 stages of our process as Sarupyata, Sayujyata, and Laya at each knot. In a similar way, one first knows and sees and enters into the ultimate. Usually men see first and then know and hardly enter into the ultimate, since they think that knowing the ultimate is the goal. Therefore, if one wishes to attain the highest stage, yoga or union, then it is necessary to seek oneness with it. Our will must therefore never be for lesser levels of existence, but the highest. For this, unwavering faith is necessary. Earnestness is necessary, and such an earnestness is something that requires one's seeking the infinite being within oneself and get absorbed in him. It is of course difficult to get staunch determination, but it is nonetheless necessary, and God Himself in several subtle ways helps even in the formation of such a determination and faith. However, the soul, knowing its weakness at first, should dedicate all its being to God and accept all as the gift of God, and this leads to development of faith in a subtle manner. As Sri Krishna has stated, if one but surrenders to Him, that is, chooses Him as his goal and all, he very soon begins to change and attains the stage of inward determination and becomes a good man. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. The power and primal force begins to flow steadily into oneself and helps the ascent to it. As already stated, God is only the goal, but also the means to Himself. God is not only the goal, but also the means to Himself. And indeed, no one can be the means and the instrument of our ascent other than God alone. One should thus develop constant remembrance and longing for God. Ananya, Ananyascha chintya yanto mama ye janaha parupasate tesham nityabhi yuktanam yogakshemam vehamyaham, which alone lead to the constant watchfulness of God. Thus, one must fix one's goal as the ultimate and constantly strive towards the attainment of oneness with it.
Now we will read Imperience Beckons में सर का commentary.
Okay.
Ideal, Commandment 3. The third commandment pleads with us to fix up your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. In order to achieve success in any sphere of activity, we should have clear idea of the goal to that endeavor. A firm determination to reach the desired end goes a long way in strengthening our will for the task. If, however, there is no clear determination, the chances are that we end up with penultimate results. A student seeking to have his honors in graduation, if he is not clear about his aim, is likely to end up in the sports or in theatres, or simply to have squandered his time and resources. It is true in the beginning, we have no practical idea of the goal in any task, but we have before us persons who have aimed at the same goal and achieved a great degree of success. Their lives become our basic information in the task at hand, and they become our models to emulate. We have earlier, while studying the prayer given to us by the Master, stated that the goal of human life is the Master. The idea of the Master as the goal is likely to attract many ideas about God or Master we are accustomed to, either through study or cultural inheritance. The most mature concept of the Master that he is a Samavarti, one who does just. The Master the Master exhorts us to fix our goal. This call for fixing up the goal, many of us have heard several times, as some sort of a choice before us. We can choose either hell or heaven, or paradise, or this earth itself, or we can choose God. That seems to be our approach. Revered Babuji's approach, on the contrary, is it is our duty to reach the ultimate. Thus, in Raja Yoga, to reach the infinite, absolute, is one of the primary duties of man. Master explains that the currents flowing from the origin manifest themselves in diverse ways. They had descended not without purpose. They were in fact powers which began to act in numerous ways, producing the required results. All these powers had emerged from the origin and began to manifest their actions. I'll take a pause here.
Yeah.
I'll proceed.
Yeah.
Similarly, in the case of man, Master explains the multiplicity of actions made him incognizant of all the various changes which he had undergone during the march towards grossness. Now he is so intensely engrossed in it that it defies all efforts to get out of that state of complete grossness. Later on, it took another turn. He came in touch with the world around and was influenced by the dealings and associations of others. This explanation is one of the best we have. Best we have on the concept of anadi karma, that is original action, propounded by several systems of Vedanta. God has his own purpose of creation, but then what made us jump into it is a question. That is the reason for our fall. What is that reason except our interest in a display? Then it is our duty to get back to him. Why did we wait all these ages? Thousands of years, thousands of lives we have gone through in the display, forgetting our primary duty to get back. So we should note, fixing our attention on the ultimate as our goal is not a choice. When we don't do it, we are not discharging one of our primary duties that is expected of us by divinity and is the ultimate good to ourselves. Duty is for one's own good and is a concept that is to be understood well. If we understand the seriousness of it, we'll appreciate why Revered Babuji again and again brings this concept of the time before creation. We may understand why at every stage he brought the concept of creation. If we go through his books, we see on every possible occasion He impresses upon it. He reverts to the subject very often, only to make us understand or remember our homeland, as he puts it, to be with him. Our duty is to be with him, not to be elsewhere, not to discharge a few functions that are entrusted to us by the society, not to discharge certain functions our family expects of us, not to discharge certain functions which will improve our prestige in society. None of these social goods answer the call deep within. This has an implication on the problem of good. We feel compelled. We feel compelled very often to alter existing circumstances to what we may consider as correct or good, and in the process find fault with others, their behavior, their conduct, etc. When someone is not behaving in the family, social, or personal life according to established ways and manners, we tend to ask, how is it that he is in the company of the master? When someone else seems to be a person without good character as judged by us, we ask, how is he in the system of spirituality? There's a case long back at Tirupati. A professor of the university there refused to sit along with another professor of the university whom he considered as basically unspiritual, irreligious, etc. He said, how can I sit by his side? His very sight makes me abhor him. My father's answer was, do you come for his sake, or are you coming for divinity's sake? Are you coming for meditation to realize your true nature, or are you going to bother about him? But he never understood. He never understood his duty. He always tended to evaluate others. We always tend to evaluate others, though we have no business doing that. Every person has a right of freedom to live according to his desire and will. If such living is not according to established social and legal norms, there are institutions to attend to that problem. It shall be none of our concerns. It shall be none of our concerns. Okay. The other man's concern is the other man's concern. If he is not well, he is not well. How does it concern us? We have been fools on our own, leaving the homeland, working up our veils, doing all sorts of karma, getting entangled in a mess. Now, if somehow we are able to remember the homeland, then we should get back to it. We have no right to judge others and evaluate them by our standards, forgetting our duty. In the process, we tend to be uncharitable to the other person being evaluated. It would be wise to desist evaluating others until we see things from a calm mind and a calm vital consciousness. We are in general always more able to criticize sharply the work of others and tell them how to do things or what not to do than we ourselves avoid the same mistakes and wrongs. If defects are found in others according to our judgment, it is our duty to correct it if we can and not find fault for such lapses or actions of the other person. I'll take a quick pause here. I'll proceed.
Yeah.
Until we have this clarity, it is a big confusion for us. The defects are found in others, in society, and in the relations we have with our societies and countries. Are we to totally ignore our duties to correct others? How are we going to bother about society here in this context? After all, things are happening in such a way outside that on the road today somebody almost challenges that he will immolate himself. Some boys are immolating in the north. There is a riot. The Naxalites demand so many things. We may ask, are we not to respond to the social needs? Yes, we can, we should. But there is always a limitation to the individual involvement in this matter. These are issues to be tackled primarily by the governments. There are two attitudes we can have. One, either an attitude of equality to all, regardless of their friendliness or hostility, and two, a general goodwill to all. It is improper to have an attitude of cursing or hatred to others. The imperience had during our sadhana enables us to look upon all things and all people with a calm and clear vision and be impartial and uninvolved in our judgments. But this attitude is likely to lead to neutral indifference to all problems of society and nations. If there is no kind of general action desired or needed, no loyalty to truth is involved, and no will for truth to triumph, and it is an action for one's personal sadhana, then the attitude of neutral indifference and samatha would be enough attitude for us to progress. The message of Lord Krishna in the Gita is our guiding principle in these matters. Arjuna wanted no action against assailants. Lord Krishna, who advocated the philosophy of Sthita Prajna, rebuked Arjuna and insisted equally on the need to fight the adversary. The lesson is we should throw away personal and egoistic feeling of hatred and will and take sides with the truth and refuse to concede anything to the falsehood that attacks us. With this attitude, we see that the inner spiritual equality is right and the active loyalty and taking firm stand with the truth is equally right. They are not incompatible. So just one uh,
Yeah.
clarification. So when we try to be judgmental against the truth, I mean whether that's a truth that we are being against judgmental against, or whether that's just our attitude of being judgmental. How do we? Uh,
Truth is again, truth is relative, no? So it
so
depends upon cultural thing and all that. Any judgment is due to ego only. So
okay.
you are like suppose the reality is in your heart, in all the hearts of people, in all animate things, the reality, the base is God only. So we are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to see that God only. So when we see that God, we don't find any faults in anybody. Mind will be there, but we have dual vision. We'll secretly we'll be feeling oneness with every human being. But
Mm-hmm.
in that case, judgment will not be there.
Mm.
Judgment is ego only. Like and
Yeah.
dislike. Like and dislike means that
Ah.
is due to our narrow-mindedness. The wheel is still
Mm.
there. The
Mm.
network is still there, which is causing us. It further increases the network.
Mm.
Judgment is for social things. You may for morality, for these things you will be for discussions like you may talk, but actually spiritual yogi will not judge. He sees God
Mm.
everywhere, even in evil
Yeah.
people also. It's a thought, it's a wave. Vritti is, you are qualifying the vritti as one particular thought as bad and one particular thought as good. But actually,
Mm.
it is a vritti. It is just a cloud. One cloud you are saying. This
Mm.
pattern of cloud is good. The other pattern of cloud is bad. It's basically a cloud. It's in the same
Mm.
thought is a vritti. So if you are judging it, that means it is coming out of ignorance or avidya. aspect.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
very quickly, if a person is meditating correctly, he stops making judgments actually.
Judgments. Yeah.
And finally, he withdraws himself. If you call a real man is one who is introverted, whose attention is on the God. He stays inside the God. So
Mhm.
almost the world disappears for him actually.
Mhm.
Mm.
So,
So even if he
yeah.
interacts, he will be just like a ducks and this thing. He nothing touches
Affects
him
him.
actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
So judgment is ego only. You have
Ego.
to give up
Mhm.
judgment. Huh.
Yeah.
You can pray that they all turn towards God.
Mhm.
Actually, because every mind has got a sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic nature.
Mhm.
Tamasic nature is more like an animal thing. I mean, cruelty, killing, greed, and hatred, and all these tamasic qualities. Rajasic is
Mhm.
power thing. I mean, you want superiority feeling. You feel superiority with everybody. You feel you are better than everybody else. All
Mhm.
Rajasic. As long as Rajasic quality is there, you can never be happy. Sattvic is
Mhm.
balance. So
Mhm.
if you're praying that these people should get attracted to God and then they should feel peaceful, means automatically Sattva is developing. So they will
Mhm.
also automatically they will also be following Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Parigraha. They will be
Mhm.
feel like following all those things.
Mhm.
So judgment is
Ego.
mistake from
Yeah.
our side.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
Actually, there is it is nothing but the play of those gunas in various minds. That's all.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so actually, in real sense, there will be no good or bad. It is just it is what they are. That's all.
Mhm.
It is a
Yeah.
reflection from your mind, from your
Mhm.
impure mind. Actually,
Mhm.
if your mind becomes pure, uh,
Yeah.
you will not know. That's why Sir used to complain to Babuji, Sir, why have you made him a trainer? He's got so many problems. And Babuji
Mhm.
simply told him, he says, my mind, I cannot see the defects in others. It's
Mhm.
impossible for me. So
Mhm.
if you feel there's any mistake, you have got the power, clean him and then remove that defect from him. That's what Sir told him.
Okay.
Babuji told Sir actually.
Mhm.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I'll proceed.
Yeah.
We shall examine the next concept introduced by Master in this commandment. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. Here there is an advantage for those practicing PAM because the influx of Pranahuti is a matter of abiding experiences of the aspirants, and this propels them to not take rest till the experience matures into a state of being with the Lord. By saying that we will not rest till the ideal is achieved, we are firming up our will to be with the Master till the goal is achieved, and thereafter abide in his consciousness. We have accepted him, and we can always feel that his support is there. He is ever prepared to help us. He needs no rest. Because even if we rest, he will be active still once this path is followed. We may recall Revered Babuji's illustration of a person getting drowned. The restlessness to reach the homeland should be like a person who is getting drowned. In one of the stories illustrated by the saint Paramahansa Ramakrishna, we find a person who went to him and wanted to know how restless a man should be in spiritual life. The saint took him to river Ganges and then forcibly put him in the him below the water. That man somehow wriggled himself out, and then the saint Ramakrishna said, "If you develop this type of restlessness to get out of this world, you will reach God." It is for us to evaluate ourselves. We hear often, "I am not restless, and I am not coming for meditations, whatever may be the problems." Sorry, am I not restless? Am I not coming for meditations, whatever may be the problems? Am I not able? Am I not able attending to morning sittings? Am I not attending satsangs? We go on giving certificates for ourselves, but then these certificates do not work. It is like the same thing as a person who is going to get drowned. This question will be for persons who are not already drowned. All of us are drowned in the mire of Maya, in the mire of Prakriti, stated in whatever language we may like, in the display of nature. We are lost here in the display of nature. We have come we have to come out to reach our homeland. Do we feel so? We feel now and then, perhaps, but that is not all that convenient. Like a fish, come up to breathe and again we go down. How long should we do this? How long should we continue with our sadhana? As long as it is required by us to become a big zero and allow divinity to express itself through us. In us,
Next page.
yeah. In us, others shall see divinity alone. We shall be totally forgotten by others. When they see us, they must see divinity in us. Let us take, for example, our master Revered Babuji. We know he has not given us a scope to think that he is father of Prakash, or father of Umesh, or son of Sri Badri Prasad, or disciple of somebody else. We know fully he has not given that image at all to us. He has given only one image to us, and that image is he is divinity in expression. There is no other image that he is capable of giving us. He annihilated himself to that extent, and he pleads with us to come up to that level. Nothing short of it is our goal. The goal, the imaginary goal of complete oneness with God during meditation is not the goal advocated by Sri Ramchandra. That is not what he is asking us to achieve. Whatever we say of our state of mind during meditation shall find expression outside and when it can be. When we are a total zero, not when we become zero during meditation, which most of us have achieved that stage, which most of us have achieved that stage, which most of us have become, hyphen, most of us have achieved that stage. Most of us have achieved a stage of oneness with Him. In meditation, we are finding ourselves calm, absolutely undisturbed, no thought, and everything is fine in deep samadhi. Still, when others see us, they see us as XYZ. They don't see divinity in us. The reason for that is we have still hidden Him inside. The divinity is still inside the cave. That is what Revered Lalaji Maharaj said about God realization. He said, now you have been displaying yourself having divinity hidden inside. Now you hide and allow the divinity to be seen by others. Yeah.
I can go ahead. We'll finish the last sentence.
Many seekers enter into this field of spirituality and express keen concern for realization of their true nature. The rigors of practice and the experience they have make them move a considerable distance. But a state of complacency develops when the experience of meditation and the changes observed in oneself are felt as satisfactory. In the long journey through the desert, oases are there, but they shall not be our resting places. The famous story of the race between rabbit and the tortoise is a standing example of taking rest, forgetting the goal. Unless a master of caliber is available, one is likely to lapse into deep slumber halfway in the path. That is all about sadhana and restlessness required of us. Once we understand our inseparable relationship with the divine during our meditations, through our progress in the path of spirituality, and this gets fomented by the constant watchful eye of the master, clarity of the goal emerges and we implement this commandment easily. we are done, right? Or is it like,
You're
yeah.
true now. Yeah. Any questions or any contributions to the discussion? Otherwise, we'll meet again next Sunday.
Yeah.
I think 10 Commandments we have to read again and again. You should never feel that it's a repetition, because each time we read,
So,
our state of mind has changed, and it will be a fresh stimulus to our mind to move forward.
yeah, very true. Sir.
Constant source of inspiration, actually.
Yeah.
Even if you read the same commandment tomorrow, you'll see there'll be a difference.
It feels like you're
But
reading for the first time.
because you have changed already in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it will give you a new insight, actually.
Mm.
तो एक बार पढ़ने से कुछ नहीं होता.
Yeah.
Okay.